Get ready for the next battle.
So for the first match of the 2021 Edison Retro Cup, we got Monarchs against Fairies. This should be an interesting matchup. So Fairies immediately hand-trapping the Substitute, which isn't common back then actually, hand-traps like this. So if orange lights can discard another fairy to destroy it, to prevent this from going off. Quite a nasty hit. I mean, you don't want Monarchs to take off. If you can prevent their 3-1 frog from hitting the graveyard, it becomes very hard for the deck to play. But yeah, they also had Tragodia, so it didn't matter too much, otherwise they would also get Kaius in the hand. Now the Monarch player decides to respect the Wild Lady, just runs into it with Tragodia. The Fairy player playing on back row. Now we see the Kaius going through, will get bottomless, but the other back row also go away, so it's kind of a knack for the Fairy player. Fairy player tries to deal some damage with Honest, but Honest gets Striding Roared. 3-bone Frog. Into Ryza on the back row. If it doesn't do anything, it will get bounced, which means another turn they will draw the same card. Apparently didn't stop the Ryza, so it isn't that great of a back row probably. 3-bone will revive itself, and that's now 2 tributes, meaning Light and Darkness Dragon, which can play around back row like the Mirror Force. Kind of a tricky card to out, so it's once per turn negate. Once per chain negate. Makes it lose 500 second defense. However, if you can establish a chain link too, like for example Book of Moon and Mirror Force, you can bait it out with Mirror Force or with Book of Moon then Mirror Force it, and it will still die. Or you run straight over it with a Christia. It also works. Due to Christia, Light and Darkness Dragon's floating effect will not trigger here. However, the Monarch player just steals the Christia, then Teslos the brain control from the end. And Fairy's now doomed because they need to draw it again, because it went to the graveyard. And unless it can be special... Never mind, they're not that doomed after all, because they can just special summon it. Getting the additional body on the field for extra damage. 3-bone Frog will not be able to trigger, and Fairy's actually in the pole position here. Nice Battle Fader, can't be special summoned, so this also counters Gorse and... this counters Gorse and Battle Fader, and Fairy comes out on top. So yeah, it's honestly the bane of Monarch's existence, this Archer Christia monster. A lot of people might know it, but it's a devastating boss monster at the time. So Monarch opts to go first again, second round of the matchup. Just decides to pass on a Duel Frog and a Wing Blast. Not the greatest opening hand, at least they have fodder for the Wing Blast, so they can slow their opponent down simultaneously. The great thing about Frog Monarch is that those frogs will build up a wall, slowly but gradually. Now the opponent's forced to, chooses to Orange Light Substitute. Not sure how I feel about that play. There's benefits to it and negatives. I suppose it prevents your opponent from getting to swap Frog and then cutting through the deck at an insane pace. Because the Fairy player probably assumes, yes, this Monarch player must have brick, so if you can prevent him from thinning their deck, there's a chance to keep bricking. MST on the D Prison, but there's no follow-up play by the Monarch player. Threatening Roar, just in advance. Maximum Stall, Raikou on the dupe. Threatening Roar is still active, however. And there's the Ryza. And that's what you like to see if you're the Monarch player. Shows back the Noble Summoner, doesn't want... Obviously you don't shuffle back the Raikou, because then again just get rid of your Ryza this way. Has to play around a face down Nova Summoner now. However, that's not a Nova Summoner, that's a Wild Lady. Ryza be gone. There's a Dark Dust Spirit in the hand now, so that can play around stuff like Nova Summoner, which we see now. Nova Summoner runs into the 3-ball, not sure how much of a great decision that is, really. Then again, face down might... It's common knowledge that a 2k defender could be there. In fact, it's a reasonable assumption. So it decides to run into it with a Wild Lady, gets rid of it by banishing it, and then swings for 1400. Okay. This is where either Dark Dust or Kaius will shine. Depends what the player chooses to do, and Dark Dust is the choice here. Now, Kaius here, which actually have been gained, now that I think about it. 200 life points remaining. So that's a bit of a misplay. But I don't think it will matter, since the cheesiest finisher if no 1k will happen. Kaius targeting Kaius, banishes a Dark, so it will finish the game. And that's a 1-1. Jumping into game 3, and Fairies get to start. Sets 3 passes, okay. Substitute, very strong opener. Gets you the swap fork, gets you the Treeborn, and then returns to the hand. Or can even check the face down monster in case there is a Raikou, then you need to use your swap fork. Which you don't want it to be gone, but it's not the worst monster to lose out on. Top decks the Orange Light, which is debatable. At least get out the Gorse here, prevent it. Because that would have been a Light and Darkness Dragon, which is total... Yeah, that's like the worst thing that can happen as the fairy player here. So it's special summon Swap Fork, uses its effect. And there's the Light and Darkness, and now it's too late, you can't use back row. Not sure if the fairy player here is making any mistakes, your Book of Moon's face down. Yeah, I don't think that can be done via Chain Link Magic yet. It's very hard to play around Light and Darkness, especially if you're not used to it. So yeah, still nothing that really can be done here. Heavy Storm can't be used here, as Light and Darkness also negate your own cards. Drops down to 2300 due to the mandatory negation of Shining Angel. Royal Lady there, also not gonna do much. MST, once again a dead card for the Monarch player, they cannot use any cards. Forced negation of the Royal Lady. 1800 attack now. It's almost viable to run over now. Use Book of Moon to force the effect. Probably get to 1300, which makes Shining Angel able to run over it. Floats into the Gorse, however, and that's a problem. Treeborn Frog, and here's the Heavy Storm. No answer means entire field gone. Caius, and that's an open board, and that's game for Monarchs. 2-1 at the moment, 2 games to Monarch. Not the greatest display of Fairy, let's see what it can do this time. Raikou, Book of Moon can be a nasty combination if you're not able to out it, and well, Monarchs doesn't even have anything right now on the field. Let's say with Monarchs, they kind of like to not control any back row. It's interesting. Try to get rid of the Battle Fader, I mean it makes sense that there's probably going to be a Monarch there if they pass an empty board. It's the most reasonable assumption. Dimensional Alchemist gets another Dimensional Alchemist. Floats to the Battle Fader again. Decides to reset the Raikou. And pop the Battle Fader again to ensure Tribute Fodder does not exist. Playing around stuff like the Caius, the Darkness Spirit. Monarch player just straight up breaking at the moment. 4 Tribute monsters, a Gorse and a Pot of Avarice. Hate to see it. Decides to drop to the Gorse here, which will make a difference. Tributes token for the Caius. Swipes a random back row, at least tries to, gets Torrential instead. Which isn't that nice. I believe the Dimensional Alchemist there missed timing. Usually when it floats it can retrieve a banished monster. But I suppose due to Torrential being chained to Caius it missed timing, although I might be wrong there. And then Fairy is able to just swing for game since this is still a worthless hand. I suppose next turn Soul Exchange on Honest if Honest didn't return. Otherwise it Gorse and then Caius would have done something, but yeah. Monarch are on top of this one, so it's a 2-2 at the moment, until the 5th round. So yeah, no matter who wins here, the winner will move on towards the... Oh. So, sorry for the interruption, I literally just got a phone call. Any job I applied to for work kind of rejected me, so I'm confirmed jobless for a long while, which totally sucks. Back into the middle of this match, I'm honestly not even sure where we are at this point, I just don't want to record this entire battle again. Right, so Monarch was doing some froggy plays. Gonna try to run into the face down, that's the Royal Lady, doesn't banish the Swap Frog. Suppose I want to keep it for like a potential Treeborn, try to run them over regularly. Gets threatening horror however. No running over this time. There's the Treeborn in defense. Not sure if I would even summon it in this position, knowing that the 2 Royal Ladies are there. You have to do something right. The 2 back row behind it also are worrying because, well, it's a stun deck, you know. At least one of the 3 Bond Frogs is now out of the game. There is a second in the deck that will likely get swapped. Oh wait, it's still in the grave. Okay, normal Caius. What will be banished? Shining. Okay, fair enough. Tries to swing directly, runs straight into the Dimensional Prison. Shining Angel, just poke for 1400. Runs straight into Gorse, however. But at the moment Monarch doesn't really have any tribute summons, so it should be fine. Yeah, didn't jinx it either, there's nothing there at the moment. We can't try to run over the Shining Angel, but we'll just float to something bigger, like a Royal Lady, and suddenly your token is worthless, can't get that over it. Really no winning there for the Fairy player. Destroys the token. could banish the Treeborn to get rid of all copies of Treeborn, but then you're wide open against Gorse. Maybe that was a retrospect better play. Anyways, Fairy not in a great position at all. There's a Dimensional Alchemist. Is going to try to stall for another turn if they don't top deck anything big. That might work, since the return from a different dimension is face down there, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, it is. So if that was not a Riser, if this wasn't a Tribute Summon, this duel would have gone differently, but since it was one, too bad for the Fairy player, and yeah, they're now basically already lost the duel. I mean, unless it face down something really spicy, which we know it's Book of Moon, so Monarch player didn't know it, but yeah. Monarchs are able to demote Fairy to the loser bracket and move on. So let's take a peek at the decklist. So this is the decklist at 1. Monarchs, triple Light and Darkness, triple Caius, triple Testalos, triple Ryza, 2 Dark Dust, lots of huge tribute summonable monsters. Maxing out on most of the Frog Engine, only 2 Dupe and 2 Treeborn, which is enough. Triple Battle Fader, triple Soul Exchange. Very, very consistent decklist. Even for Monarch, Monarchs are inherently a bit bricky, but this decklist seems to maximize consistency. Honestly, at this point, the only more consistency you can add is removing some of these for upstarts, but one could wonder how much that really benefits you. Mind Control doesn't allow it, yeah, whatever you do with Mind Control can tribute. It was like, why isn't there no Mind Control here? But I thought that's part of the effect. So yeah, very strong banned card substitute. This is not an FTK or anything, however. Contribute a monster special with Frog from your deck, except itself. Frog monsters, or wait, you can summon itself from the deck. Oh wait, no, it's a toad, it's not a frog. Oops. So yeah, Frog monsters except Frog the Gem cannot be destroyed by battle, and yeah. Basically enables you to get Swap Frog, which then will send Treeborn. It's additional consistency in this deck. Very strong deck list. Most of the extra deck is there just in case you steal something with Brain Control, that's a tuner. And for striking against certain machine decks. Now this is the Fairy deck that managed to lose some spicy cards in here like the Soul of Purity and Light. One of the cards I personally at one point considered in the Progression series. 3 Warrior Lady, 3 Nova Summoner, Shining Angel. A lot of this looks like almost a GX era deck, if I'm gonna be honest. I'm not sure which era something like Christian was released in. Getting a lot of GX vibes from this deck list. Triple Pre-Rata Raikou. By the way, if those don't know, Pre-Rata Raikou matters. I believe certain cards do or don't miss timing based on which Raikou you use. And this one actually targets. The newer version of Raikou does not target, it got an errata at some point. I know Wolf, the Lightsworn Beast, also got an errata, so that's 2 Lightsworn erratas. A lot of power cards, triple Book of Moon, very relevant card back in the day. Heavy back row lineup. And a lot of extra deck cards, which you don't go into too often. Orange Light is a tuner, but most of the time you're using this for the hand trap effect. So yeah, very effective deck lists. It's also a very close battle. Monarch came out on top, however. I do apologize for the interruption in the middle of the video. I really just don't feel like recording this entire battle again. But yeah, next battle should be interesting. Next battle should be Diva Zombie against 6 Samurai. Yeah, that's the matchup. So I hope you guys will enjoy that one. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Have a beautiful day. Goodbye.
Get ready for the next battle.